Shooters Connection offers products for competition shooters by competition shooters. With over 80 years of combined competition shooting experience, Shooters Connection is staffed by master and grandmaster shooters who live the shooting sports every day. We offer same-day shipping. Shooters Connection also sponsors over 100 of your matches every single year. So when it comes to finding everything you need to compete as a beginner or a seasoned grandmaster, Shooters Connection is the only name you need to know. Online at shootersconnectionstore.com.
All right. Welcome to the Hit Factor. If I'm a little less enthused tonight is because Jeff decided that he wanted to record this with no shirt on. I don't really know how he decided that. Maybe he's trying to get ready for Puerto Rico, I think. He's trying to figure that out. And I was kind of asking if he wanted to like lose weight for Puerto Rico. And he's like, no, I like how I look. And
Yeah.
so then he wanted to show me how he looked.
Yeah.
And so now I've got this male pattern balding dude with no shirt on. Which actually the no shirt thing is actually only the second most interesting thing tonight because Jeff told me that his next project is regrowing his hair. And so I'm curious, like, if he's got some sort of comb over issue going, or are you going to like take implants off of your chin and try to like put those on your head? Like what process are you going to use to grow your hair back?
All right. So first of all, being bald is annoying. It's not really like more convenient because you have to cut your hair more often, otherwise you just look trashy, right?
Yeah.
Second, your hair is protective of your head, so like every little bump and scrape leaves a mark on your bald head, right? It's very annoying, and it hurts. Third, there's nothing to soak up the sweat, and for somebody who works out, it's very annoying because you have to have something on your head. Like you either have to have a towel right there, or you have to wear a bandana, or you have to wear a hat, something, because it just...
Why don't you just wear a do-rag just constantly? Just never take it off.
That's annoying. It's annoying.
It does everything else.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I'd rather have hair. So we're tackling the hair situation.
We'd all rather have something, but...
Yeah, well, okay. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to give it a year. If in 12 months, if there's no noticeable change, then we'll just go back to shaving, right? Like,
okay. So what are we given for a year? What are we doing?
Oh, okay. So I've started off with, here's my protocol, right? It's actually fairly legit. It's just yeah, it is. It's just not legit. Like I'm not doing the two main like over the counter drugs that you can do, right? So you can do,
which is like, is that Rogaine? I don't really have this problem, so I don't like
Rogaine
dove into this.
Or minoxidil. Minoxidil is the active ingredient in Rogaine. So that is a topical application, right? Not doing that. The other is a drug you can take called finasteride. I'm not doing that either. So, yeah.
Some experimental back alley, Oklahoma.
Well, the thing about both of those is you can't ever stop. Like you just have to do it indefinitely. Like they don't fix your hair. So I don't want to be tied to one of those. That's crappy. All right. So here's what we're doing. We have a shampoo and conditioner we've added, which is, I think it's called Revita or something like that. It was recommended. Okay. We're also adding some micro needling or derma rolling. Okay. And we're taking collagen.
What is derma rolling?
Hold on, Jeremy. We're taking collagen and we're taking biotin. Yeah. And we just started that like last week. And we're gonna do a weekly follicle check. Here we go.
Dude, it's so shiny. Like people just got
There you go.
like they can't see anymore because it's so bright.
And Jeremy here is for support, and I'm so glad to have him in my corner.
I mean, like I was telling Jeff earlier. Like, I feel like most people that have me as a friend is for the positivity that I add to their life.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's what I just feel my gift is to be positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, okay, what is microderm rolling? Like you just poking needles in your forehead or what?
Yeah, pretty much. Nailed it.
So it's kind of like, why didn't you just do the whole transplant thing?
I don't want to do a transplant. I'm not doing that either.
It seems more permanent.
It's also expensive. And it's not guaranteed. Like, you're not guaranteed that that's going to stay either. Like, you could get a hair transplant and then it could just fry and fall out.
I mean, it doesn't. What you're doing now doesn't sound like cheap or guaranteed.
I mean, it's pretty cheap. Like
What happens if you get this special shampoo like too far down your forehead? Then you're gonna start like having a unibrow issue. And
I might actually grow a beard.
I can't say anything about a beard because not in the cards. Not in the cards for me.
Anyway, we're going to give it at least 12 months. If we see even slight improvements, we'll keep going.
So anybody that has any experience trying to regrow hair,
Yeah,
on their head, I think that I don't know where everybody else would try to grow hair, but
on their face.
I guess, but if you had experience with that, chime in, like give Jeff some tips,
100%.
how he can get rid of his cue ball.
Yeah,
it's really for safety. Yeah, I think that's what I heard. It's a safety issue.
Yeah, well, it's safety and performance. Okay.
Oh yeah, he can work out harder if he won't sweat so much.
Yeah, well, at least
he'll still sweat as much, but the hair can soak it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm having a really tough time. We need Billy McScrublord to do some Photoshop for us. Like, I'm having a tough time like envisioning Jeff with a full head of hair.
Oh, okay. Well, I was a child once and had hair.
Yeah, but did you have a dad bod with the full head of hair?
Yeah, pretty much. I've pretty much always been skinny fat. Like I've never
Skinny fat.
Yeah, dude, I've never had abs ever. Like I guess I was close like a couple years ago, but yeah, skinny fat. Like you're not fat, but you like take your shirt off and there's just like no definition. That's pretty much been my physique my whole life. Except now I'm like more muscular and skinny fat. So
hey, I mean that sounds good.
yeah.
You're squatting more. You're lifting more weights than you ever had before, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm making progress. So anyway,
yeah,
there you go. I just
skinny my whole
life. Poured out my life, self-improvement, everything.
I mean, I feel like you really put it all on the table for us. So
yeah,
I mean that's a very brave thing to do. Like I admire your bravery.
Thank you.
Being vulnerable. So, hey, that's for the audience, guys. Okay, you leave in like 2 days, 3 days, 2 days for Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Caribbean Open.
Yeah.
And
let's go.
You're changing divisions.
Yeah, I'm shooting same gun. I'm shooting my single stack. But I'm taking my 10-round mags and shooting standard because I didn't even realize it. I looked at the freaking whatever you call it. The
squad list.
And I was the only single stack shooter.
Oh.
Like
that's weird.
It was just me.
When I signed up for the match, there were like, I thought there were like 10 single stack, and that was even before you had signed up when I was going.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because I went and looked, and like yesterday,
Huh.
and I was the only one. So I emailed him and was like, just put me in standard. I don't need a new permit. I'm just gonna shoot the same gun, bring different mags. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're gonna shoot standard. I mean, there's not a ton of good people shooting. Like I think Bob might be the only GM.
And standard could be. I mean, any
Yeah.
internationals we wouldn't know if they're a GM or not.
Okay.
So you just have to be able to recognize their name. But
Gotcha. Well, anyway, we'll shoot it. Maybe I'll still make top 5 or something. Or not.
yeah,
But we're going to have fun.
who knows? So like, you're going with John Luke,
Yeah.
just like a bachelor trip. Are
Yeah,
y'all
buddy.
gonna like sit on the beach and have Enrique bring you umbrella drinks, or like what's y'all's plan for the non-shooting activities?
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. And I haven't talked to him to see what he's thinking either.
I mean, he sent some pictures, some stuff that he's like
Yeah, it
looking
seems like he's
around.
got some
Like,
stuff in mind. Just
yeah,
full transparency here. John Luke has basically, I mean, I know you're not going to be surprised here, is acting essentially as my travel agent. I was I was like, "Hey, you want to go to Puerto Rico?" And then like he booked the flights, he booked the car, he booked the hotel. He did literally everything. And I've done nothing except send him money. So, it's been amazing.
I feel like I'm about to get replaced. Like John Luke's going, like
Dude,
Jeff won't even go to matches with me anymore because his expectation is going to be like,
right.
I'll go to the match with you only if you're my travel agent and take care of absolutely everything.
Right. Because normally, like, you have to do a lot of that stuff, but you bitch and moan about it. And John Luke's going to do it, but he's probably not going to bitch and moan about it.
I'll talk to him.
He'll talk to him.
We'll get him straightened out. Make sure he knows how it's supposed to work.
Okay.
So it's what,
Well,
like
anyhow,
15 32 round stages, or is it 20 32 round stages or something like that?
yeah. No, it's 20 stages. I don't know if there was any 32 round stages. Maybe one.
Oh, okay. So it's 20 stages. They're not all 32 round. That's good.
No, yeah, you went and look at the matchbook. I think it looks awesome. The stages, like I'm pretty excited about shooting it. They seemed pretty interesting. Lots of movers. Yeah, just it really just seems like something I would like to shoot. You don't see the matchbook and it's like groups of 3 and 4 everywhere.
Yeah.
It looked pretty interesting. Like I'm a pretty terrible judge of stages, I'll be honest. I'm not
That's true.
super analytical when it comes to stuff like that, but looking at the stage book, I was pretty excited about shooting it. There wasn't a ton of long stages, which if I look at a stage book and like I see a ton of long stages, I'm already dreading going to that match. That
Yeah,
does not
I get it.
sound fun to me.
I get it. Yeah. That many long field courses is not the greatest. Not the greatest. So
Yeah.
you've shot what, like 200? You made it through 180 round range session, because I know you shot like you had one range session where you shot like 60 rounds and your hands were totally
Yeah.
fried.
Yeah, I probably shot like 250 ish, somewhere around there, with chrono and everything.
You feel so
Yeah,
you're
'cause I
feeling
was-
super dialed in.
I feel pretty good. Like I know like the intuitive stuff is going to be pretty bad. Like the stuff where you like you need to be like dialed in and kind of in tune with your shooting and how you react to stuff is going to be bad. I know that. And like moving, I know is going to be delayed. Like I've shot matches that way before where like you're like, oh, I should be moving now, and then you move, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I know that's going to be bad, but it is what it is. I haven't had time to shoot, so, and it's been cold, so, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
Should be
it's
a good
been
time.
freaking cold. It's been really freaking cold. Well, that's good. I think that's going to be a fun match. Hopefully I can go next year. I'm still bummed about not getting to go. Bob
Yeah.
and the Arizona people are trying to talk me into the Western States single stack match here later in February. So we may go to that.
Oh, it's
We'll
in
see.
February. That's in February too.
Yeah, it's like February 23rd.
Okay.
So
I've always
cool
wanted to shoot
match.
that one.
It's just super early. Like it's so hard to like. I'm not one of those people that generally likes going to a match with like not being prepared, like not feeling
Yeah.
like trained up.
Yeah.
And for me, like you're like, yeah, I went and shot 250 rounds. I'm feeling pretty good. I'd be like, I shot 250 rounds. If I don't go shoot a bunch more, like I might throw the gun on a stage or something. I don't know what's gonna happen if I only shoot 250 rounds. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. I want to go shoot it. We'll just see how it pans out. But I did. This is kind of exciting because, well, first we need to talk about the Hit Factor. I don't even know what I'm calling it, but it's the Hit Factor Challenge. Our current challenge. You know, we did the Reload Challenge a year ago. So I came up with a drill, and I'll just briefly explain it, which is it's super simple. You're standing. There's two targets at 12 yards that are a target width apart, and we're USPSA metric targets. So metric is the one that has the head, so it's not the turtle target. So surrender, draw, handguns loaded and holster, facing down range, draw 2 to each body, then mandatory reload and 2 to each head. And only alphas count. So any Charlie that's out does not count. And we got to have video of the run, and the target has to be doesn't have to be like a fresh target, but it has to be restored, like in that there can only be four hits in it. And I know people could cheat if they want to cheat, but I feel like the stakes are not high enough for somebody to want to cheat, because winner gets a Hit Factor hat, which is, I mean, I should say that. I mean, it's probably worth cheating for, honestly. Like the hat's pretty bussin'.
Yeah. I mean, do they know what people overseas are having to pay for those things?
Dude, that's true. I mean, like it brings a pretty penny when you're talking about overseas stuff. So yeah, and we're gonna recognize two divisions. I think a dot really makes a big difference on this drill. So but otherwise, I'm not really too concerned about anything else. So we have a iron sight division and an optic division. Major minor doesn't count because it's only alphas anyway, and no PCCs. I'm not recognizing any sort of PCC. We've had a couple people get out and shoot it, and I think it's actually going to be harder than most people think. Getting all A's, because you kind of think, oh, I can at least just I can at least hook up on one run. It's like, well, trying to hook up getting 4 alphas into the head, like that's not really just a hookup and like kind of just rip it and maybe you'll get it. But at the same time, it's like you don't want to go crazy on the body. Like you don't want to have like a great run and get all 4 headshots and all A zone hits there, and then you go and score the body and like, dang, I have a hit that's a half inch out. So I think I kind of like it because it's just stand and shoot. Like it's really simple. Like we're kind of wintertime, we're off season. People aren't like most, like kind of other skills like that people aren't going to be like working real hard on that right now. At least, I mean, I'm not personally. So it's like, okay, this is kind of a good stand and shoot, deliver, shooting fundamentals that'll kind of get you to practice your surrender draw and your reload a little bit, maybe. I can't. What I know, I put a date. It was March something. As far as when it's over.
Was it that early?
I thought I did. I can adjust that if I need to. So,
Pull
but there will be a date where we'll stop accepting videos. But if you want to tag us on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, or if you're on the Discord, we have a separate channel on the Discord just to put that in there. So get out there, make some videos of it. Let's start getting some stuff posted. And I think it'll maybe kind of take off a little bit if we can get some people interested. Hopefully we can kind of just keep kind of rolling through some challenges. And this won't just kind of, we'll do this one, we'll come up with something else and do another one and just kind of put some stuff out there.
March 4th was when you said.
March 4th. That's the deadline. Yeah. So coming up quick. Got basically a month to do it. So for me, that is actually a good incentive because it made me want to, like, one, I got to get out and make a video so I can kind of explain it. And so I got to be able to perform it on video, which may take way too many rounds. Luckily, I've got a bunch of 9mm loaded. But I needed to do some dry fire in so I got a new belt. I got the Lynx deal with like the ratchet, and I went ahead and bought the ratchet deal.
So why did you get a Lynx belt?
Well, one, it's like the new hotness. Everybody's doing it, so it's like, well, I'll try it and see. I like, this is gonna sound really arbitrary, but like it kind of folds up like much smaller profile than the other one, than like a normal belt. So that's just kind of nice. Like you can fold it up smaller. I actually think it's probably a little bit more rigid than a regular belt, and it's without being more bulky. Or like the traditional belt, like to make it stiffer, you almost had to just make it bigger. That was kind of the only way to add much rigidity. And I feel like this one's probably a little bit more rigid than the other one.
Yeah.
And dude, the Velcro on these Lynx is insane. Like I've never seen Velcro like it before. Like it's crazy stout, which I'm guessing it's gonna just destroy inner belts. Like I may run through inner belts faster.
That's what Jared said. That they rip up those inner belts pretty good.
Yeah. But with the ratchet thing, that may be less of an issue. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So it's really just kind of I've always used kind of just the traditional double alpha. I've used a Safari Land before, which is a little bit different, but basically kind of the double alpha CR speed kind of. I've always used that in the past, so this is just kind of something different to try it. Got the Henning T1000 holster hanger, where my GX holster on it, and so yeah, I got it put together with the gun on it, and like my first 2 mag pouches today. I did maybe like 5 minutes of dry fire, maybe just see if my stuff was kind of in the right spot, because that T1000 is really, I mean, it's nice because you can adjust it infinitely almost. But you kind of got to think, if you're gonna adjust it, you kind of got to just kind of get it close and then mess with it for a little while and see if it's how you want it. But yeah, super excited for that. I did make an order from Shooters Connection last week for some new grips. I'm going to try out I've been using the Techwell Positech grips, which is kind of they're shaped, like they're kind of thin at the top, they're kind of fat at the bottom. They've kind of got a palm sole in it. They feel really good. They're really nice. But I kind of wanted to go back to some more traditional profiled, and I've always liked their aluminum grips. So I got some of their checkered aluminum grips to try, and we'll give
Yeah.
them a shot. I think there's like the profiled grips, like the Positex, like they feel really nice and they fit the hand really well. I do think because I also think this with some of the 2011 steel frames, you run into this as well, that they're extremely round,
Mm.
and so your index is a little bit harder to get as consistent. Whereas when you have kind of like flat sides, this may sound weird, but when you kind of have like more flat sides, like more
Yeah.
of a traditional 1911, like you have that front to back length that's going to like uh give you that more reference as far as where the gun's pointing just based on feel. Um and I feel like you get that
Hmm.
kind of with a traditional 2011 grip versus the really rounded popular
Yeah.
2011 grips. The ones that are rounded feel really good. Like they feel really good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I also think sometimes you lose a little bit of that index because of that.
That's interesting. Interesting hypothesis.
Yeah. So I got them. Shooters Connection actually had them on sale, so they weren't too expensive, and I needed a new magwell too because mine is so beat to crap. Uh,
Right.
so got a new grips and new magwell, and we'll give it a shot and see. I may go back to the Positex, but I'll try it for a while,
Yeah.
see if I like it.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Shooters Connection, for sponsoring today's podcast.
Yes, and having good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you call the like real shapely ones? Posi Tex? Is that what you said?
I think they're the Positex. I'm pretty sure that's what they call
Okay.
them. And I've
Yeah, I
liked them.
don't.
I had to reshape them and move them a little bit, but I liked them.
Yeah, I don't like them. I like the
Why not?
standard grips. I don't like the shape. Like they feel too wide. Like I mean, it's a lot like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Um, it just doesn't feel like I like the flat sides. I really like that as far as being able to smash your hand up against a flat surface that's just grabs a hold of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you might be onto something there. I don't know. It just sounds weird, but yeah, the idea of it being round is like it's it kind of feels like it's harder to point.
Yeah.
I don't know why that kind of makes sense, but it's stupid.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, if you went to an extreme, right? Like if you had a dowel rod and you put a line that was supposed to be exactly the front of that, and you can't look at it to know, like, and you try to point that at something, how versus say just a 2x4 or a 1x2, and you put a line on the front of that and you've got to point that at something, which one are you going to be more likely to be able to point accurately at something? Like the dowel rod, you'll have no clue where it's at. So like
Okay.
that's kind of my, like, that is my theory behind my hypothesis, is that I'm probably getting my science mixed up, but
Yeah.
that's I guess an
Yeah.
example. That like I kind of think that's what you sometimes end up with. Some of these guns get really, really round. And if you get really round, then you have no idea where the front of it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like the original SIG grip's pretty round, right? Like the SIG 320.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty round. I don't know if it shoots good or not, but it's pretty round.
Yeah. I don't know. I have one that I've never shot.
But
Should
you
probably
have
do
a
something
Legion.
about
You
that.
have one with like the newer grip on it, right?
Oh, it is a Legion. I don't know if the
Yeah.
shape of the grip is different than the original.
Oh yeah, the Legions have like the the X5 grip on them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an
Yeah, I'm
X5
talking
Legion.
about the original, like the P320, like it's super round in the handle.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm not.
before
I
they
didn't
had
know
the
it was
X5.
that different. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Oh,
It's totally
it's not
fucking
a
different.
1911. It's not a 1911. I haven't paid that much attention to it.
Right, yeah.
So yeah,
All
but
right.
Hit Factor challenge. We need some people to bust that out. I've
I
actually
don't even
had.
know
I
if I'll
think
be
we've
able
had.
to do it.
Actually been a thing. Like some people are like they were all. There were several people on the Discord like speculating. Yeah, I think I can do it this time. I think I can do it this time. There have been at least a couple people that have tried it, and they've come back like, yeah, I didn't have a single clean run.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude,
yeah, it was a good challenge. It was a good drill.
4 headshots at 12 yards, like at speed. That's rough.
That's the thing. I don't think you're gonna be able to really go at speed at it. Like I just kind of think
Yeah.
it is what it is. And maybe I need to extend the time frame on it. Maybe I'm not gonna give people enough time to get out.
Yeah, I don't know how many entries you'll get because I'm probably not even gonna have any metric targets to do it with before March 4th.
John Luke has some metric targets, I almost guarantee.
Yeah, he probably does.
Like,
but he's already acting as my travel agent.
Well, apparently he's just going to be your agent at this point. Poor John Luke. I really feel for you, buddy.
We're going to have so much fun without you, Jeremy.
You guys will have fun. Maybe you might have more fun than if I had been there. Actually, I don't know.
No, probably not. I mean, sometimes it's fun to have a downer there.
I am a ball of fun. That makes sense. I often think that of myself. Man, you're just such a fun guy.
You're so fun.
Yeah,
I think that too.
Yeah.
What else are we talking about? What else do we have?
Listener questions.
Okay. Let's go. Let's do it.
We can talk that they put IPSC Nationals at November 16th this year, which I don't think the World Shoot Policy slot selection deal is out yet, but I'm assuming they're going to require shooting IPSC Nationals, which means you got to shoot into November. It's in Volusia. At least it's not in Frostproof, which is kind of nuts. I'm surprised that it's not at Frank's place, but it's in Volusia, which is still Orlando. You still fly. If you fly, you still fly in the same place, but it's actually really close to Orlando, and there's kind of more stuff to do around Volusia. It's at Gorka's range, which is
okay.
I shot Area 6 there, I don't know, probably 3 years ago. And his range was, he was still a work in progress, but it was nice. It was cool. So I assume it's probably gotten better since then. So
yeah.
As of right now, I'm probably planning on trying to shoot it.
Really? So are you shooting USPSA Nationals for sure?
Yeah, probably. Assuming I can get a slot.
You weren't really sure.
I wasn't, but I want to try at least give myself a shot to qualify for the World Shoot team for South Africa.
Yeah. Would be cool. Would be freaking cool.
Yeah, you got to at least give yourself an opportunity. Like, I mean, Thailand, at least I had the opportunity to say no. And again, if COVID hadn't happened, I would have been able to go. So yeah, I think you got to at least give yourself an opportunity. If they are going to field a classic team, who knows? There's no telling what they'll do. I really have no idea what the board will do for the World Shoot for the next time around.
Right.
So
yeah,
I think I saw that it was on the agenda. but I don't think those minutes have been released. I kind of think the meeting
Gotcha.
has taken place, but I don't think minutes have been released. But I don't know. I don't keep up with all that as much as I should.
Okay. Well, it appears to be very cold across the country this
Oh
week.
man, it was
We took a
10.
quick poll. Yeah, we took a quick poll in the Discord across the country. It does look like up in Seattle, it is 40 degrees, so a little warmer up there.
It's always like that's. They don't get cold up there.
Yeah. Just rains all the time, though.
My buddy Poji says it doesn't really rain. It's more of like just like a mist.
Yeah.
Which
Gotcha.
I don't really believe him, but that's what he says.
Yeah, we had 9 degrees in northern Idaho. It's 21 in Texas. It's 22 here. Or I should say in where you live in Texas. I'm sure it's warmer other places.
Probably.
Negative 9 degrees. I don't know where Droobies is from, but sounds cold. And
well,
I think
Potato was showing something earlier.
Yeah, it was like negative 20.
The high was like -3 for I don't know if it was today or tomorrow, but it was like dadgum. Good day to go run. That's all I'm saying. It's a good day to go run.
Cold. All right, so first question here was one that was directed right at me. Jeff, there's a Handel's ice cream shop coming to my town, Sacramento, California. Quick note, I was born there. Is this the ice cream you warned us about a couple podcasts ago? I don't think so. I think the only one I've talked about is Brahms, which is very local, just here in the surrounding states. I don't know what Handel's is, but you should definitely check it out because ice cream is good.
Yeah, Brahms is a local staple around here.
Yeah.
But it's like a Texas Oklahoma thing. I don't know if it's. I don't know if New Mexico even has Brahms.
I think somebody said they're all over Arkansas.
That would make sense. I could see them being in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I kind of avoid going into New Mexico as much as possible. I try to avoid going to Oklahoma, but this dude always makes me pick him up, take him to places, so I have to drive through Oklahoma.
Dude, so like several years ago when I was working at a different job, I got commissioned to go work in New Mexico for about 2 weeks. So I was just like driving all over New Mexico for 2 weeks straight. And dude, it was incredible. Like some of the most beautiful places I have seen in New Mexico. And I know you don't ever see those places driving through, but we were like going into like very rural areas, places that were not very often touched, looking for like we were monitoring like flood gauging stations. They have a lot of like flash flood type stuff in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like hiking into these like private areas that no one ever goes, or finding these like spring waters in these deep canyons. It was awesome. And I wish I could remember where any of those places were. so that I could go back or take my family there, because it was beautiful.
There are some cool spots in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I will say that.
All right, question here. How do you determine what skills you want to focus on for a given practice session, be it dry or live fire session?
I don't know if that's a question of like how do we do it or how do other people do it.
I
I
think that
mean,
just depends on how you want to answer it.
yeah, I mean, like a smart way to do it, which isn't necessarily how I do it, is that you kind of treat it like you do like a workout schedule. In that, like when you work out, you want to try to hit different muscle groups within a certain schedule. Like however, whatever your workout routine is, you want to try to hit the muscle groups that you want to hit. So you kind of schedule that out. And I think that's a somewhat decent plan um, with the different skills and stuff like that in USPSA, is that you just kind of schedule it out such that you hit all of those skills with some amount of regularity. And so however you do that, you do that. It's a little bit different because you can do that with dry fire a lot easier, because most people, just talking in generalities, for most people, like they can dry fire with consistency if they want to and they're motivated to, but most people can only live fire once a week or something like that. So if you have 4 main skill sets and you're like, okay, this week I'm going to work on this. Well, if you're doing that and you're only live firing once a week, well, then you're only going to hit that skill once a month. Like I don't know that that's necessarily going to be super conducive. So it really just kind of depends on what your schedule looks like. Me personally, like just how I personally do it, typical training, I have availability to live fire more frequency than most people, and so my dry fire is, I'm not doing what Jay Beal is doing with dry fire, and that he's doing everything in dry fire and just super simple stuff live fire. I tend to be kind of the opposite, and I do pretty simple stuff dry fire, and then I'll do more stuff live fire.
Yeah. Mm. Okay.
And to answer that even further, like my philosophy is, like if you want to do well at this sport, like it doesn't matter anything that you do, you have to be able to shoot well. And if you can shoot really well, even if you have not great movement, you can still do. I mean, if you can move at all, you can do really well. Like I'm not picking on the guy, but Paul Kerr can't really move. I think he's had, I don't know if he's had I don't know if he's had fusions, but I think he's had some issues. He cannot move very well, and I don't think he would think I'm picking on him by saying that. But he can shoot really, really well and really, really fast, and he is often at nationals one of the faster guys there. And has done really, really well. So for me, my thought process on my live fire is I want to make sure that I am addressing my just basic fundamental shooting skills, and then I'm trying to contextualize those skills, right? So I'm going to some basic drill, and then how can I contextualize that drill within adding movement, adding a different shooting position, or something like that. And it's because that's really all you're trying to do in a stage, is you're trying to take your shooting fundamentals and apply those in whatever way the stage designer has tried to force you to apply those. And so then it's basically, how can I contextualize my shooting skills in as many different ways as possible?
Okay.
What do you do?
Okay, so how do I determine what skills I want to focus on for a given session? I don't really do that. Right? Like I will say I have done a bit of what Jeremy talked about, which is like having a regiment or an organization of skills. I've not done great at sticking to it, but I have taken the time to create one. But generally, what I will do is, even if I have something like that, I will end up finding something that kind of draws me in. I'm not recommending this, by the way. Um, I'm not. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm simply answering. This is what I do. So I'm answering a bit different than Jeremy. Um, and so like I'll start off doing that and hitting a bunch of different skills, and then I'll kind of figure out this one thing that really starts bugging me, like pissing me off that I can't do, or that I do so terrible, or I keep forgetting to do. And then I'll just hyper focus on that for like everything. Um, Whether it be like I can't I can't get stable on my approach, like when I'm coming into a position and like I can't get stable and set up quickly. I'll spend just weeks like doing that. Like I'll warm up for 10 minutes doing draws and side pictures and trigger pulls and stuff like that, a couple transitions, and then I'll just work on that thing. And I doubt that's a good idea, but that's what I do. And it's kind of the same for live fire. Like I think all last season, in practice, I never set up more than 3 targets, and like pretty much the whole season I just focused on trying to control the gun, which I wonder if that had something to do with uh, the, the gun and me just trying to adapt the grip that I had learned on the 1911 to the Canic, and it just wasn't working. So I never got the control out of the gun that I had with the 1911, and so I fought it
Mm-hmm.
all season, just like trying to gain the control that I was used to having, and I don't feel like I ever got there. So, and after 200 rounds with the 1911, I feel like the control is already better than all of last season with my Canic. And that's not really dogging on the gun. It's me. I think it's the
It's
gun
not
that I
you,
learned
it's
on.
me.
Yeah, it's the platform that I learned how to hold a gun on. I've mentioned all that before, but yeah. So I pretty much spent all last season just trying to learn recoil management and make it resemble what I could do with a 1911. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I did there. And there was sessions where I like, okay, fine, geez, I got to work on something else. This is getting ridiculous, and I would do it. But then, I'd do that session and I'd leave that session and be like, man, that was pretty good, except I couldn't really control the gun. And so next session I would come back and try to control the gun again. So that's kind of how I do it, dude. I just like fly by the seat of my pants. I pick something that pisses me off and I work on it, and that's what I do.
Yeah. I I mean, in all honesty, I think where most people are at, and most people's, like the majority of people's skill sets, like they don't need to be trying to apply a whole bunch of different skills. Uh, like they need to
Oh,
learn how to shoot. Like they need like if you're not, like it's one thing if you're C class and you're wanting to get to GM, but you don't have, like, your shooting skills are nowhere near uh getting to GM, then like worrying about like entry setup and all of that sort of stuff, like stuff like that, like it's kind of irrelevant. Like if you can't
yeah,
hit what you're trying to shoot whenever you get there. And
yeah,
so like
for sure.
I do think there's a certain element of people that need to just, like, you need to just get better at shooting. Like you don't need, like, you don't need to be doing a bunch of really complicated stuff. You need to, like, I mean, kind of like what Jeff's uh year last year was like because Jeff kind of intuitively knew, like, I don't really, doesn't matter if I work on entries and exits and shooting on the move and all that sort of stuff. If I can't just stand there and control the gun, then everything else is
Yeah,
irrelevant. I mean, you're kind
yeah,
of doing that intuitively, but like that's, I think that's actually true for a lot of people.
And I think it really showed in the last match that we shot last year, which was Area 3.
Yeah.
I think on paper, like I was right there with you. Like within seconds of your time, and you were shooting limited, and I was shooting production. But I shot terrible. Like same time, right? Like I can get around the stage just fine, but I couldn't control the gun, and I couldn't hit I couldn't hit the things.
Yeah,
So it didn't
I
matter.
think that was, yeah. You had quite a few penalties at that match, right? Am I remembering right?
Yeah, I shot terrible. I'm not talking it up.
You didn't join the 20 mic club, did you?
No. No.
Oh, that's too bad. That would have been cool.
I think I would have to try.
Man, I'm so looking forward to that you're shooting single stack again this year.
Are you?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Good. I'm
gonna rag on you all year. Like you may beat me at every single match, and I'm still just gonna rag on you all year.
Yeah, that's fine. That's nothing new.
Yeah,
it should be good. I'm excited about shooting a 1911 again. It's where my heart's at, man. It's where my heart's at.
It's because it's the best. It's where everybody's heart's at. They just don't know it.
Like I just pick that gun up, and I just feel all warm and fuzzy, and it feels good in my hands. Damn.
That's what JMB is all about.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
If you feel that way too, then you should shoot single stack.
You should. We still need to figure out which match we're gonna take over with single stack shooters, but we haven't figured that out.
Oh yeah,
yet.
no, we really need to pin that down, because that's probably gonna be like my other match. Because I'll probably shoot like this one, probably like the Oklahoma match, the sectional. I'll probably shoot that match, and then USPSA Nats, and probably, hopefully, IPSC Nats.
What about Ozark?
I mean, maybe Ozark, but I'm going to have to not shoot some, because I just won't have primers. All right. So, you want to do one more?
One more. Let's do it.
Okay. What is your opinion on making IPSC target the universal target? I heard rumblings some companies do not sponsor USPSA due to the humanoid targets. I didn't realize this was an issue. Awesome podcast. I really enjoy the idea of having a rankings page. Oh yeah, we should do that. NRL is trying to do that this year.
NRL is trying to do a rankings page?
That's what he said.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little bit easier
USPSA,
for NRL, but
USPSA moving to metrics, right? No, classics.
No, metrics classics is the IPSC turtle target. I mean, like that's why IPSC came up with that target, so that when internationally, it needs to be viewed as a sport, and so having a target that has a quote unquote head, makes it seem much more tactical, or that we're training to kill people, and so they came up with the turtle target. To me, like honestly, like the sport wouldn't change for me if we just went all turtle targets. Like I don't think I would lose anything from the sport. I feel like you can present this, maybe not the exact same shooting challenge, but a very, very, very similar shooting challenge, with a no shoot on a turtle target, the way they have their A zone going up to the top. And so I don't. I would not have that. That wouldn't bother me. Other than like, I don't want to cave to these sissies that we can't shoot at a target because it's got a head on it. It's like, okay, it's just a square. But I don't want to cave to that. So like, that's why I don't want to get rid of it. But as far as like my actual involvement in the sport, I don't think it would affect my experience in any way. So that's not a hill I want to die on. Now the companies that won't sponsor us because of that, screw them. We don't. Do we need their money? I mean, well, I guess USPSA does need their money, but that's to me, that's not really gonna. If we just got a company that's gonna come in and they're gonna give us money, give USPSA money because they change our targets, it's not like the BOD is gonna know what to do with that money. They're just gonna blow that on something else. So, like, I don't think that's gonna fix our issues at this point. Um, so I don't know. Did I answer that guy's question?
I think you answered it in true Jeremy form.
It's probably fair.
Okay, I'll read it again here. What is your opinion on making the IPSC target the universal target? I heard rumblings of some companies don't sponsor USPSA due to the humanoid target. I didn't realize this was an issue. Yeah, it would not bother me at all to have all classics. That's all I'm shooting right now. Not because I don't want to shoot humanoid targets, but honestly, I like the classics more, so I shoot them. But yeah, and I can definitely understand not wanting to give in to the crowd that would be trying to strong will USPSA or corner the sport, saying they can't shoot humanoid targets. I can understand that. At the same time, I can understand the other side of it. I can understand not wanting to promote or be part of something in the current climate, cultural climate that we're in, that is all about shooting humanoid type targets. I get that too. Like, I'm not saying it like I necessarily feel one way or the other, but because the humanoids don't bother me. Like Jeremy said, like, it's a box with another box on it. It's like you're almost pushing for it to be a humanoid, but still, I do get it. I do understand it, and I would be fine with shooting all classics, just fine. It wouldn't bother me at all. So yeah, that's it. Boom, answered. All right, that's it. That's all the questions. Join the Discord if you like, or if you don't like, follow Jeremy on Instagram so he can tell you stuff about what's going on with the podcast. Use the link in the description to buy stuff from Shooters Connection because we appreciate it. We appreciate them. Stay tuned for more talk of the challenge, your weekly follicle update, and more information or recaps coming from the Caribbean Open. Be talking about that next time we're on, though. It'll probably be 2 weeks at least before you hear from us again.
Yeah. Also, if you have a gun that you want us to review, if you want to hear what Jeff Cawthon thinks about a gun besides a Canic or a 1911, or it can be a 1911. Jeff has all this Discord money that he's just been sitting on, getting rich on. And so we're thinking about taking it and buying a gun to review, and then they'll probably sell it. Probably to Discord people. Yeah. But if there's like a specific gun y'all want us to review, I think we could do kind of an interesting review. Take it all apart. Look at it.
Wait,
see
what
how
were
it's
you
put together?
were you saying that they had to be in the Discord to help decide which gun we were reviewing?
Well, no, we have our Patreon inside the Discord, which I don't think did Billy McScrubboard give us. He did give you a Patreon shout out. You didn't do it.
Oh shoot! What is our Patreon shout out?
Oh man,
Oh.
you almost screwed up.
Jeremy, do you want to read this one?
No, I can't do it.
Oh, okay. Oreos suck and are shit cookies. You hurt Jeremy's feelings.
I believe that was from Billy McScrublord.
Yes, Billy
it was part of our-
McScrublord, aka Mac and Pool on Instagram.
I thought it was Mac and Pood.
Is it? I don't have Instagram. All right, I don't know.
We got our second Patreon on the Discord, but Jeff was asking how can we bring more value to the Patreon package that we have, which I think we're giving great value, quite frankly.
You do?
Oh yeah, I think Billy's getting. I don't know how you could get much more out of it, but if we do the gun review thing with it, the idea was maybe that we would let the people in the Patreon decide which gun. But for right now, if you guys want us to review a gun, then let us know, and we will take that under advisement.
There you go. Okay, that's all I got there.
All right, shoot well, Caribbean. Watch out for Enrique. Put some sunscreen on that forehead. Dadgum. I feel like that's not going to help your hair growth, but that's a shiny cue ball. Is all I can say.
Okay.
Y'all be good. Go shoot the challenge, and let's get some videos rolling with that.
Yeah.